and I would really appreciate it if you would stop Rob Taylor from blathering on and on.
Opinions expressed by talk show hosts, callers, or guests on the Rob Taylor Report do not necessarily represent the opinions of the hosting platform, subsidiaries, sponsors, or possibly anyone else on the planet or the known universe. From the tinfoil and lead-lined broadcast bunker on the beautiful southern coast of Oregon, it's the Rob Taylor Report. So strap yourself in. Your weekly political therapy session is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the nearly famous Rob Taylor.
Hammerson. Michaela, how you doing?
I'm good, Rob. Thank you so much for celebrating my birthday.
No problem.
You guys are amazing.
And we're in the same room we were in during the Republican convention, and this is kind of strange. It's like we're back at an old place, but yet it's a public place because it's a hotel. It's
weird.
It's kind of weird.
It's actually really weird. When I first walked in here, I was like, oh. And when I was coming up to the room, I was like, oh, all these memories of the last time we were here. It was during the National Committeeman and National Committee Woman election. And there was a lot of stuff going on that day. A lot of things going on leading up to that day. And we had a podcast after that as well. And some similar faces in here. But yeah, it's crazy to be back.
It is crazy to be back. You got to think the rant's about tonight. This is the Saturday night rant. We always like to rant on Friday, but we moved it this week because, well, it was your birthday.
All of the pressure to rant.
I know.
I do not necessarily want to rant.
Come on.
I am so thankful. So actually, the main thing that I want to do is express how thankful I am for all the people who showed up here to celebrate with me. It's been a rough year. Actually, it's been just over a year since I met you, Rob, and since I met Diane, and since I met Danessa, and since I met many of the people who have been instrumental in, I think, really the movement in Oregon to bring truth to the forefront, especially here in Southern Oregon and on the coast.
I hope we're bringing truth. I know we're asking questions because that's what we do. We ask questions, and that's what we got in trouble for, is that we were going around asking questions about certain people because things just weren't lining up, and we didn't like the answers because the answers were nothing but fluff and bullshit, and we didn't want to hear it anymore. And so one of the things that that started me off was when I eventually got canceled on my radio show for asking questions, and it was a bad day for me, but we all go on, we all move forward, and it was funny that because of that bad situation, I got to meet a wonderful person, and that was you, because you invited me and Diane. Who Diane was on the show for that. My show that I got kicked off for.
Yeah.
And, it was funny. It was a one of the best, as far as I'm concerned, radio shows. Last 30 minutes of that show.
It was an amazing show.
It was
kidding.
incredible.
I've listened to that show a couple of times.
Yeah.
Maybe more than a couple times.
It's funny.
I had a hard time listening to that show. Because I was afraid it made such a tidal wave.
Yeah.
So many people were so mad. And then I listened to it and it's like, but all we're telling you is what's on record with the Secretary of State. And you're so mad at me because I bring this up.
Yeah.
Instead of being so mad at the person who's actually responsible for the data, this is wrong. And it made me feel like I need to take a step back away from politics and stay with causes because the windmills had to be stopped.
Well, Diane, that is what you did. That's what you did. And that's what you did too, Rob.
And
I know.
Team, it wasn't just us. We were lucky. We had a person like Danessa who stood up with us from the very beginning and made it so that when we went out to those meetings with Boehm, we had professional signs and people felt good about standing up with us and being a part of what we were after and a part of our team. And we were very consistent in showing up. This wasn't easy. We did constant social media, 4 rallies a month since March.
Two a day on the day we did the rallies.
Yeah. In 4 cities. So we had Coos Bay, Bandon, Gold Beach, and
Well, and Rob
Brookings.
And
That's it. I
Brookings.
couldn't think of the city.
You know what? I had to slow down for a minute. I've been here all day and it's been fun celebrating Michaela. You're a wonderful person.
I love you, Diane.
I love you too.
So this is one of the things that I think that we probably want to capture on this show is the craziness that all of us have been through in the last year. You think about where we were a year ago. We were dealing with a lot of uncertainty. We didn't know what direction this country was going to go in, if people were going to choose the crazy path that we've been going down, or if we would choose Trump. To be honest, it sort of is crazy or Trump. What do you want? And we know what that answer is now, but we did not know that. And we spent a year not knowing what was going to happen. And yet all of us came together.
So Pizza Man, wait a second. Pizza Man is here.
Oh, we got the Pizza Man here. Yeah, will you sign that for me, Danessa?
This is a podcast in the hotel.
And we're getting pizza.
We're getting pizza.
Well, if I'm going to do a podcast on Saturday, I'm doing a pizza.
That's right. Tip them well, Danessa.
Yes.
Tip them well.
Wow. We've been through a lot. It's been a very interesting time. I before we go any further, I do have to give recognition to the Indian tribe for being so wise, their attorneys, to sue the Boehm. And it's lovely because they're considered a federal agency themselves. And because they are a federal agency, suing another federal agency has much more standing than any of the rest of us normal Joes out here. That's the first thing that really stopped us. The second thing, of course, is us going to the commissioners. And there were a lot of people involved with putting pressure on the commissioners. And the commissioners really didn't need a lot of pressure to pass the advisory question on the wind turbines. And we knew that we were going to win. And I thought we'd get more in Coos County, we got 60%. We got nearly 80% in Curry County, and
It's
it was a
amazing.
success.
It's
It was a
totally
total
amazing.
success.
Those numbers have never been tried. The vote had never been taken in the whole nation.
Yeah.
It's just beyond, we're so lucky. How can we be so lucky to have everything fall into place?
Diane, when you speak, would you turn that camera?
Yes, just so they can see you.
We may have to move the wire. Todd, can I get your assistance, please?
Hey, don't give me technical issues.
Would you take the wire on this side of the basket and put it on this side of the basket? I don't know what I was thinking. There you go.
Here we
All right.
go. Now we can.
And
turn
now
it.
we can control the camera.
There we go.
Are we in space?
Oh, there you are.
No, you're
It's not good, but yeah. There you go. Thank you,
That's
sir.
a little bit better.
Wow, that was just you are an
Thank
expert
you.
over there. You're hired.
We hired you first.
Okay, damn, it's hard to get good employees today. It really is. And so it was great that we did all this, and we're moving forward because the party is fractured, and we want to see the party get better. No matter what they accuse people of, they'll say that you guys are people who are trying to divide and be causing trouble in the party to divide the party, and it's not true. I don't believe this. I think, like I said, we are just asking questions, and if those questions are uncomfortable, that's too damn bad. I don't think anyone should be told to go along with the party. I think we have to think individually as individuals, and that's why I like working with you people, because you're independent. You don't automatically go with something. I mean, me and Danessa have agreed and disagreed on things, and then agreed and disagreed again, kind of back and forth. And it's like, you can do that on things because until you know what all the evidence is, you don't know what to go with. And politics is integral. It's very integral, and it's hard to decide and figure out what is
Americans,
true.
We're supposed to be tolerant of each other.
Yeah.
We're supposed to like each other a little bit first and not just hate each other from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And we're not supposed to expect other people to like everything we like just because I don't like it. It's just the way it is. Things are changing around us quickly.
No, sit right there, and
And as
we're gonna
long
turn
as
the
we
camera.
can stop
we're gonna turn it over to you.
government projects that waste our money and take away our future for our children, like the windmill project and other types of projects that are going to be detrimental to the future, then we've done the right thing.
I think so. No matter what, if your instincts are good and you go with those instincts, that's in politics. That's what you have to do, because they're feeding you so much crap that yesterday's conspiracies or today's headline stories, and you're like, are you freaking kidding me again? And so it's so I can understand why people aren't interested in a local story, because if you look at what's happening on a national level, it's like, who gives a damn? And when we're in the district, and when we're actually in the boots on the ground, literally the boots on the ground, me, Diane, and Danessa has been out there with us. And, when we were doing the Todd Vaughn campaign and we were out knocking on doors, this was all a very constructive project. And I'm glad you joined us. And Danessa Rains is joining us right now. She's at the end of the table. How you doing, Danessa?
It's a party. It's a party.
You got the microphone? Good deal.
Yes, I got it. I thought this was a rant, but also a birthday party.
That's the problem with the rant, is that we have a little bit of spirits, and then we start realizing, well, maybe we didn't want to rant as much as we wanted to rant. I don't know. It's
I'm still pissed. Okay, I'm mad.
well, then it sounds like
About
you
the-
have a rant. Go for it.
I'm mad about how many people have been destroyed in this process that all these liars and cheaters have gotten through. And I'm hoping that we're going to be able to rectify this and bring out the truth. Because first of all, I was raised that you don't get ahead by lies and cheats and deceptiveness. And it's like everything's opposite. People are getting rewarded for that. And I'm hoping with Trump That was the only, I mean, I'm really happy what happened on a federal level, but our state sucks. It's bad. We're a super majority right now. It's going to be bad. Our taxes could be going up because they could push the buttons anytime. But I'm also really happy that Michaela, we've got good people in this group of people that have fought to get people of character, a good character in place. And a lot of people have stepped up. They've not have ever been a politician before, but we've got people that were honest people that had real substance, not all these fake agendas. So that's my rant.
That was a good rant. Keep going. I know you got more.
I do. But the thing is, my blood pressure will go up the more I talk about it.
Oh, yeah, I understand that.
And so, there has been a lot of hard work that went into these campaigns. A lot. You can, right here, we're in this room and they've got all these signs of everyone that has run. They might not have won, but we have won in the sense that we still stick together and we still fight the good cause. So Oregon is probably one of the most corrupt states we have. And we have a lot of work here. And I want this to be from our kids to be able to come back. And most of my kids are in Texas. Most people are flying the coop out of the state because we have the corruption. And now we've got problems with our public safety here now. They're opening the jails up because they somehow can't find the money. I pay my taxes. Why do I have to police my own land when I pay someone? I do what's right. I pay for my registrations and my.
Don't you want to pay for the DEI officer? She only makes $170,000 a year. Why do you hate her, Vanessa? Why do you hate DEI? She loves you. She does.
No, I don't like her at all.
She wants to dye your hair blue.
Those people. It's just a way to redistribute wealth when it's not deserved.
Oh, totally.
It's not deserved. Those people didn't work hard. They're not working 6 days to 7 days a week to sustain a business. They're not out there day in and day out, whether they're sick or hurting for funds. They're still out there pushing the envelope. Okay. And, I mean, they're trying to make money. They're trying to do what's right for their families. And these DEI people are getting in and getting a paycheck, and they don't know their profession. They don't know they're not qualified.
I don't even know their profession. I professional bullshitter. I am not sure what they do. I've seen what they say they do, but it seems like it's nothing but breeding discontent.
Oh, we just got done with a meeting at the BOC, the Board of Commissioners of Coos County.
Yeah.
And the city of North Bend came in. I was raised in North Bend, and I can't believe the bullshit that they're trying to pull on the people here. They have bought all this property for pennies on the dollars, all these old schools and old annexes, and now they want to be landlords. Now they want to be a communal. They want to do it for the workforce that will come in.
After they got a higher bid for the building.
Originally, they bought that for the homeless, to house homelessness. Now, because the money shifted in this area they want to get the container ship, they got to prove that they've got housing here. So, I mean, it's crazy. You get these city administrators that get in there, and the particular one that we saw, I could not believe they've spent tons of money to put a proposal together that got totally shut down because of timing. And quite honestly, this woke agenda, when you tell the truth in an audience, it was funny because we saw some of the liberals kind of question, it is communism. When you point it out, so you guys are building a commune? Yeah. For your workers, like China does for their industry. Boy, we've lost a lot of education. We've lost a lot of history. We're not even on the same page. And this guy just keeps going and getting federal money and thinking this is great, gravy train.
Pushing DEI. The city
DEI,
just,
and then forcing it on businesses that they gotta
Damn.
sign, they gotta sign an oath
yeah.
that they will follow DEI practices or they will not get any city funds or won't do business. The city won't do business with them.
Yeah.
Or they can't have a business license. I'd call that extortion.
I call it racism.
And it's unethical. So anyway, that's my rant. Sorry, Michaela. You know, but I think the thing is this is your birthday because we are all here fighting for these solutions, and I would just say we have to get better at figuring out solutions. And I know you have young kids. I have a little older kids, but we are all doing this for the right reasons, and it's not for attention. It's not for definitely not for financial gain. We don't have any alternative motives other than let's hold our public officials accountable. And when we ask those questions that you're talking about, why do we get our heads chopped off? Because we're coming up. I mean, I've never done anything this political before. I mean, pulling Todd Vaughn into the mix and going against the biggest snake in the state, we had no idea we had gotten a hold of a rattler. And I mean, he's publicly shamed me, DBS, on national, what is that, national syndicated radio with Lars Larson. We've all been beat up because we're trying to point out the truth.
Right.
And we have been shunned in our own party that we've fundraised for. We have gotten people involved in the political process, and now it's been totally divided. And all we can do is shine the truth and get people to fight our cause. And I know I'm taking up a lot of your radio right now.
Let
Sorry.
me ask you a question before you go any further.
Yeah.
You were just elected to the delegate position in the Republican Party. What are your intentions with that position? Because you might want to explain what it does and what you.
Let me tell you a little.
Your voting authority.
Oh wow! So first of all, we broke the slate of the rhinos that were going to happen in our own county here in Coos County. And this is on publicly, but we got some people that have some energy that I think will try to write some things.
Because not all of them were rhinos. There were quite a few new people that I thought seemed to be quality people.
To actually get someone that's not old.
Yeah.
And has some energy and are good thinkers and that have a standard.
Yeah.
That have a standard. Lately, we're having a problem we're not running a country club. We're running to vote on things within our party. And I see a lot of that kind of not happening. And a lot of decisions were being made just with the chair and not getting the whole party involved. And when you do that, you're taking away the process of what we are to be Americans. This is what we do. We vote. I hate to say that word democracy because they have used it wrong. I mean, we're a constitutional republic, but the process that we're all supposed to have a say in a decision.
For you. Well, I didn't get to because I'm not a precinct person, but the party voted for you.
Yes, they did because I ran for the chair. I gave 3 speeches that night.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And then I ran for the secretary, and then I had to kind of spill my guts.
Which was beautiful. That was really good. And
yeah, I had to spill my guts. And I'm sorry, someone just came to the door.
That's all right.
And I spilled my guts to tell them why we had people that had never been to the party before, and they were new people being asked to step up in the party. We had a secretary that She's never been to one of our meetings. And she said, what's the tension in the room? And the tension is they alienated anyone that went against what the chair wanted. And they made people feel bad. I just stuck it out, and I told them I stuck it out just like Trump. And I guess that resonated with the room. You know, Trump has been alienated, been sued. He's, you know, persecuted in every way you can imagine. And anyway, it was painful going to those meetings because those people tarred and feathered me a couple times.
Right.
But I still helped with the party because I wanted Trump to get across the threshold. And we
Totally.
did. And we did things like Trump trains with the group, the whole group. Not the Republican Party group, though, because they wouldn't even come to our Trump trains because they were never given that information from our own chair.
But they were quite large, fairly large Trump trains.
There is a lot of people to tap into here in this community that are conservative.
Yeah.
But they don't want to go to our parties because, quite honestly, they're boring. They're very boring. And then they target people within their parties. And who would want to join something like that?
So you got two people who were new to the party because I'd never seen them there. And I've been with the party off and on for over 15 years. So I know the who's been the players there for a long time in Coos County. So one of the things that I was really impressed with is you had two professional women, one who ran for treasurer, one who ran for vice chair. Which one?
Julie ran for vice chair.
And
then the girl from Napa, from Gold Beach, Golden.
Golder.
Hers, Mary Jo
Right.
Golder.
I was quite impressed.
Yeah,
with her.
she's very.
I thought both of them were pretty well spoken. I thought they both seemed like they could bring something to the party. Totally.
Well, the thing is when you run with the same leadership for almost 10 years, I think Schilling was in there for that long.
Yeah.
And the numbers were declining. The PCPs were declining. The involvement, the fundraising was. I mean, the fundraising went okay this year because it was a Trump year. I mean, it was a presidential year,
Right.
And quite a lot of people wanted him in because they saw how bad the other candidate was. But it's just when people make the decision. See, we never voted on who we wanted as a candidate to promote in our party. We didn't do that. That was done by the chair. The chair determined, and the vice chair determined what measures to vote on, what candidates we were supposed to support, and they made their flyer for it. We never voted on it that I know of in our regular meeting. And I personally know that the treasurer that just went out, and she wasn't invited to probably any of the executive meetings. So this is the problem. When you get someone that's in place and they become a dictator and not get the other people involved in the party, it's hard to get the momentum behind anything without a consensus.
Yeah.
So we need to get people engaged, and the only way they have to feel like they have a say. They have to feel like they're part of a campaign or a measure or something. It's just like the wind. If you can get behind something that is that will affect other people and everyone, and you can give it to them in an educated fashion and give them reasons, people can get behind that. But you also have to educate. You got to educate. You got to get the advertising out with the rallies and those kind of things. And you guys have done an excellent job with that.
Yeah. Well, before we go any further, what's the people you're holding in your hand? You've got a gentleman on your right.
This is Steve Hammerson. This is Michaela's husband. He's the one that put this room together in the birthday bash and got. He also ran for county commissioner.
City council.
And city council. and school board. And I think he's still on the school board. And he's also, isn't he in the transportation? No, he's not in the, oh, there he is. He's back here.
We'll run for county commissioner.
Okay.
And is running for a seat on the OSBA.
Yeah. Well, the thing is this is the kind of people we want in the party. People
Right.
that are willing to, I mean, these aren't paid, well, there's not all of them are paid positions. And also here's Samantha Frost. She's into the election integrity and she ran for county clerk
In Douglas County.
in Douglas County. Yep. And the election integrity group. And also she's a general assembly also. But all these people were at Todd Vaughn's campaign stuff, multiple. We did canvassing. We were very engaged. And, we didn't even get the blessing of the Republican Party yet because they wouldn't give it. They wouldn't even let us have the opportunity to share.
I will ask Michaela whenever she gets back after we talk to our last guest here. But I want to know, is Douglas County, is their Republican Party, has it straightened out? Has it cleaned up? Do you know?
Oh, no. I think there's lots of problems. They've had problems they had a recall of all these MAGA people.
Yeah, but that's been
That was
been a
one thing.
while.
And the other one lately is they weren't, this is the one that happened to me actually in our own county, is that when they have an election, they're not notifying everyone.
I'm going to have to ask Todd about that. Thank you, Danessa. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you.
No problem. And let's see here. I've got two more guests. There he is. There he is. All right. Hey, that works when I'm in control. That works.
You just let
Okay.
I'm loud.
So this is Todd Vaughn. Todd Vaughn, you ran against David Bruck-Smith in Senate District 1. And
In a primary.
Which is always bitter no matter what you do. It's in the party on party kind of play that you're doing there. And they really came out for your opponent, the incumbent. They wanted him back in there. And he wasn't an incumbent. He wasn't even an incumbent.
He was an incumbent, but he was an appointed.
Incumbent.
He got a seat by appointment.
Yeah, let's get the term right. And so we did your campaign, which was incredible. I loved it. All the ups, the downs. It was fun. It was really fun. And Danessa was great. She took us knocking on doors, which was a blast. You learn a lot knocking on a door. You never know if it's going to be a shotgun, a hug, I'm drunk, what's going on. The guy who comes out, I hate all you effing Republicans. Well, we agree with you. So
that actually did happen.
That did happen.
I think you were there.
We kind of feel the same way you do.
Yeah.
That's why we're running these
High five,
Republicans. Yeah. And so you learn a lot going out knocking on doors. That was a blast.
It was a great learning experience.
And you don't regret it, right? There's no regret
absolutely not.
Great,
It was
great.
It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. How could running for a Senate seat not be, right?
Yes. Running for a Senate seat, as it's exhilarating. One of the first campaigns I ran in Oregon was a Senate District 4. It was DeFazio's district. It's huge. It's freaking huge. And yeah, we got obliterated. And so that's just what happens in politics. So it's always fun to keep playing these games, keep trying. And you're now on the what is the district, the transportation district?
Yeah, I'm on the UPTD, the Umpqua Public Transportation District.
Oh, I never would have got that.
I'm also a board member at the Days Creek Charter School. And one of my main goals has been from the very beginning of my interest in politics, and still is to this day, is taking down the CCP. Because one of my heroes is Steve Bannon. There's Steve right there.
Nice. Nice.
And I'm a war room fan, and that's how I got involved in politics.
Oh, great.
Yes,
I
this
love
is
it.
a book, by the way, Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws. That's pretty much what the people in this room are that are actually engaged. We are rebels, rogues, and outlaws. If you guys get a chance to get this book, it's a pictorial with articles on all of Steve's guests since he began the War Room as the War Room pandemic back in 2019. So yes, one of my goals, as well as Steve's, is to take down the CCP. This is a overriding goal in my life, is to be one of the people out here involved in politics that helps to destroy the Communist Party.
Communist Party, the CCP, and I'm a big fan of Steve Bannon. I watch his show quite regularly, and it was wild when he was in jail, and it was his daughter, I think, that
Yep.
took over for him for a while. That's just incredible. You know, at least we haven't been arrested yet. That's coming, you know.
That's
eventually.
right. Steve, Peter Navarro, a number of people that are simply patriots, America First, MAGA, whatever you want to call us, have actually been incarcerated for charges that should have never been brought against them.
Right.
Just as our wonderful new president, Donald Trump,
Right.
was indicted on what, 90-something indictments. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's political warfare. And to be honest with you, we've had political warfare waged on us. When our group, including people sitting at this table, began to vet David Brock Smith, which ultimately, because of what we discovered, led up to my entering into the Senate primary race that we've been talking about. When that happened, we actually had a form of election interference conducted against us. And it was pretty similar to what I would call legal warfare in a sense. It was within the organization of the Republican Party. A number of us were recalled based on things that they used ultimately to set up a smear campaign against me. So these guys, the people involved, were very catty and well orchestrated in the way they attacked our campaign. So they were strategic.
Very strategic, and it's not surprising. I expected some of it. You don't know what to expect. You can't know how far they're going to go. And
no, but they were elected officials, supposedly nonpartisan.
Well,
and included all of the elected officials of Douglas County that basically helped in what was, I don't know what you would call it. I would call it a cabal to make certain that we did not threaten David Brock Smith's reelection.
Yeah, I've been studying that for a while and trying to figure out the makeup of the Douglas County, starting with the commissioners, the board of commissioners, going up to the representatives and the senators, who are all Republicans in Douglas County, who seem to have a very unusually connected associations. You know what I mean? They're associated with each other in certain ways that are just beyond what they should be as elected representatives. It's very what is it called when you're?
It's a symbiosis.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You kind of.
And it goes clear to the top, and it includes their relationships with the Democratic Party in Oregon, which is a very interesting component, by the way.
Oh, yeah. And that's the other thing that blows me away, is how much they vote with the other side and justify it with, well, we're trying to bring money back. It's always, we're trying to bring money back. We're selling out our soul. And that's what we're fighting in North Bend right now in the city. They're bringing in the DEI crap. They're trying to make businesses, like I think it was Danessa said, sign an oath, an affidavit that we're not discriminating against anyone, when there are already laws on the books that defend people. And if they were discriminated against anyone, they would be prosecuted under the law, because there are strict rules against that. So we're fighting that here in North Bend and all over the county because that's coming in, this DEI bullshit. And you would think the Republicans would stand up against it, and they're not standing up against it. They're going along with it, and they're telling us that, well, we have to do this because if we don't do this, we're not getting the grants from the federal government or the state to continue doing these economic development, urban renewal projects. And it's just getting larger and larger. Portland just created 6 new urban renewal districts. These things are huge and they suck millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars out of the economy every year. And a lot of that comes from the schools, the colleges, the local districts, the county, the city, and so on. And we've got to stop all of this stuff because this is what's leading to the erosion of this country. And that's when they'll come in and want the government to have a solution for this crap, right?
Yes. And Douglas County was one of the wealthiest counties in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
In the United States. Okay. We are the timber capital of the world. Okay. So we were receiving 25% of the gross revenues, gross receipts out of the National Forest, which makes up 25% of Douglas County, the Umpqua National Forest, and 50% of the O&C, which makes up another 25% of Douglas County. So 52% of Douglas County is controlled by our federal government.
Yeah, isn't that great?
And it's amazing. We were maintaining the forests, maintaining campsites, roads, the whole works. The spotted owl came in, and obviously everybody knows the rest of the story that knows anything about this area. But the ultimate end result is that in 2 years, Douglas County will have burned through what was a multi-million-dollar reserve drawing interest every year that our county was thriving on, including the schools. And in 2 years, that will be completely depleted. We are basically a beggar county now.
Yeah.
And everything that we get comes in through the state, mostly through grants. Now, I'm on the Days Creek School Board. So I'm dealing directly with this. We're dealing with funding, with grants and stuff, mostly state. And we are basically under control of the state right now in how we write our own policies in Days Creek at our school.
Yep.
Because if we don't go along with the program of all of these new laws, including the transgender stuff, like tampons in the boys' bathrooms, like David Brock Smith promotes.
Yeah.
If we don't go along with this stuff and make that part of our policies, you guys wanted a little rant, so I'm going to give it to you.
Go
then what ends up happening is they can withhold our funding. So all of these schools that used to be in wealthy counties that basically were autonomous in regard to our own policies, and in regard to how we served our communities, which are all conservative communities in this area of rural Oregon, you guys. These are all red communities, heavily voted for Donald Trump, the whole works. So we now are under the control of Tina Kotek and our chicken shit Republicans that vote along with the Democrats and stuff policy changes down our throats that we go along with because we have no choice. And every year our policy, the book of our policies, a little tiny rural school with less than 200 students, every year those policies, that policy book of policies gets thicker and thicker and thicker and more defined in regard to the DEI and all the rest of it, the trans stuff, everything is just like slowly exploding.
Yep.
And everybody on our school board is like, we just need to go along the best we can and go along with the program, because everybody's afraid. Of course, as a district school board director, everybody's afraid that we could lose funding if we push back too hard. And this is the kind of stuff we're dealing with because many years ago, a very well orchestrated plot, just like the plot to create an effort and the material that they need to smear me in the David Brock Smith campaign. These people are very strategic. Years ago, a very well orchestrated strategy that included the spotted owl and the endangered species was put in place that right now, little schools like Days Creek in Oregon no longer are autonomous and control our own ability to create our own policies. This is what's going on. That's why I say to you, one of my main objectives, overriding objectives, is to destroy the CCP, because ultimately it is cultural Marxism that is behind most of the stuff that's coming down from Tina Kotek and her bunch and affecting us in Days Creek.
Yeah, it's a leech on society until it drains it dry, and then they take over.
And when can we ever get the ability to once again prosper in Douglas County by harvesting timber that we are currently burning on purpose and letting stand out in the forest and rot?
That's a good one.
Like billions of dollars worth of timber.
Billions of dollars. Thank you, sir.
There's your rant. Nobody else was doing a very good job.
No, you're doing quite well.
Hey, you just made Michaela happy.
The next gentleman I've never interviewed before. Actually, until tonight, I never met him. His name is Greg Kennerly, and he ran in Douglas County. And tell us, or if you would like, what position did you run for?
So I ran against John Hannon for sheriff. So I'm Officer Kennerly, worked for the Cow Creek Police Department. We're like 4 years old. So I used to be a deputy sheriff before that.
So you worked for so you were a deputy sheriff.
Yes, sir.
Was it under that sheriff? Okay. And now you work for a police department. So you're not directly under the sheriff at all.
No.
It's under the auspices of the city police.
It's Cow Creek, the tribe.
Oh, the Cow Creek, the tribe. Forgive me.
Abandoned
I was,
Indians,
I was, for some reason, I was thinking that was a town. And
Is the camera focused on Greg?
I apologize.
I thought that one was good.
I thought it was too. I'm sorry.
Janessa was paying attention.
I was paying attention. I'm the only one.
That's
not
Greg
drinking.
Kennerly. I apologize. I took a couple bites of pizza.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Very good
Yeah.
pizza.
It was good pizza. But you're running against the sheriff. Is that kind of nerve-wracking?
What's that?
Isn't that kind of nerve-wracking, running against the county sheriff? Is there any, you know what I mean? Is there any, you think you didn't have any animosity towards him? Was it any?
No, not at all. Matter of fact, I mean,
Okay.
for both of his sons, one of his adopted son works at the Kubota, which we have the Kubota dealership, and I know John Hammy. But I didn't like the way things were being ran and things that were happening there.
It was policy.
And really what broke the straw of the camel's back for me was when one of the deputies we worked with, Deputy Goodnight, I feel and believe that he was fired for his religious beliefs. And that was it for me. I'm just like, I can't, as a police officer, we swear an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and protect the people from Douglas County. And I just didn't feel that was being done. And so I talked to a lot of family members. There was many reasons. Is one, we're talking about how the woke and the change and everything. My family's been in Douglas County since 1853, and it got so bad that we're like, the reason I had to move to Hawaii to become a mechanical contractor over there was because of the spotted owl. When I came back, Maui was booming, Hawaii was booming, and everybody was starving to death and butting up their houses in Douglas County. It was like being in a different planet. And you got to go to be able to make a living. And that's why I moved to Hawaii. And then when I run custody of my son, I moved back to be on the ranches and stuff. But my family and I just, my brother and I, we've had this conversation is, do we sell everything and move to, like Tennessee, where a lot of people are, somewhere where it's just red state?
We were just talking about that, moving to Tennessee, because everything we've seen about it, we just love.
Well, and there's a lot of police officers that have retired that have moved there.
Oh, wow.
It's like, well, why did you move there? Because I have so I'm the range master for the department. I have a lot of NRA training, and a lot of those people come from all over the United States. And, some of the officers here in Oregon that I trained with, they're like, well, we're moving to Tennessee. And I'm like, well, or Texas. Or I was like, well, why? It's because it ain't Oregon.
Right.
And, basically it was like, well, I get it. But it's hard to sell all your family ranches and everything and relocate to something. So it's like, well, I'm going to try to fight. I'm going to, try to run for office and, see where it goes. And And that was an extremely interesting getting into politics for a month, into it. And what happened with me is as soon as I put my name in, ironically, I get a very nice letter, email from the Democrat Party. And I thought, but I got nothing from the Republican Party.
Oh,
And I thought, well, that's kind of odd. Anyway, so I told the gal's name was Betsy at the Democrat Party. I said, well, I probably have absolutely nothing in common with policy or religion or anything, but I'd love to talk to you. I got to be nonpartisan. So I met with him, and I actually had a very good conversation with him. I was like, okay. I said, well, I'm going next to my party and go talk with them. And I went over to the Republican Party, and I said, hey, guys, I'm kind of confused. How come I get a really nice email from the Democrat Party, but I don't get anything from you guys? And
right.
he's like, well, I'm sorry. We're in a big turmoil right now. And there's a divide in the party, or I think so. I'm just going, well, obviously this is my first day into it.
Yeah.
And right now, this is not the time for the Republican Party to be divided. So I don't know what's going on. Are you going to get it fixed or what? And he goes, oh, yeah, we'll get it fixed. And the next thing I read in the paper, Todd Vaughn and them were axed out of basically, I call it axed out of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And then when I went next week and I said, hey, I thought you guys were going to fix this. What's going on? And he goes, well, we voted for Hanlon. You're out too. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I didn't, I never even got a chance to speak or tell my side of the story. I said, okay, you axed Todd Vaughn out. I said, okay. Why? And he goes, well, he's disruptive and everything. I'm going, well, that's not a good enough reason for me. But I said, I still don't understand. It's like, well, there's 100 PCP, that vote. I said, so you're telling me for 33,000 voters that we have in Republican voters in Douglas County, that 100 people get to decide who runs for office? That's what the other side does. And so that was my gripe about how everything was ran there, because I didn't even get to go in and speak. The only time I actually got to speak was when the Democrat Party said, would you agree to a debate against Hanlon, and then Hanlon run Brad in there last minute. I said, I'll debate anybody, anywhere, anytime. And so we did a Zoom debate and everything with the Democrat Party. But at that point, I was already axed out of the Republican Party. And then so I, who's this Todd Vaughn guy? I mean, I see his sign with his, logging thing. I'd vote for him just because he's a logger. But so I ended up getting a hold of Todd, and then that's how we met. We went to 10 down. I said, yeah, hey, thanks for getting me kicked out of the party. Yeah. And then what the Republican Party goes, well, you were a constitutionalist. And I said, well, I've been a Republican my whole life. When I was in Hawaii, I said, when Mitt Romney, I believe, sold us out. And I said, when I moved back to Oregon, I remember going in and registering, and they're like, well, what party are you? You Republican or Democrat? I said, I'm so pissed off at both of them. I'm neither right now. I said, I don't know what to do.
That's funny.
He starts, and I look back and he starts naming off all these different Tea Party, different. I'm like, I don't know what the Tea Party is. He goes, constitutionalist. I said, what's Constitution? He goes, well, they believe in the Constitution of the United States. I said, well, that's me. Check that box. Anyway, so they were like, well, you're not really a true Republican. I'm thinking, you have no idea. There's nobody that owns 50 cal guns like my family and has as many firearms and believes as strong as we do. So it's like, I'm way more Republican than you guys are. The hardcore Republicans, MAGA Republicans. And then the MAGA Republic thing is taken off, which was kind of ironic because in Hawaii, I dealt with Donald Trump's team back in the 90s when he got his high-rise building built in Waikiki. And what stood out with me was like when they said, here's this big New Yorker, he's got this show and everything. I thought, he'll never get anywhere. You can't stand New Yorkers in Hawaii. They'll axe him out. And by God, he got all of his permitting done. He got his high rise there, his hotel done. I'm thinking, now that guy's got it together. I don't know who he is, but in order for him to be able to do business in Hawaii, he must really be a good businessman.
Yeah.
So that's kind of ironic that now, 20 years later, we are where we are. And with Mitt Romney, I'm like, I felt he was a traitor. And that's obviously been true. And as far as my opinion goes, and so it was like in the the Republican Party when I took them, they were like, yeah, well, it wasn't. I said, so you can see why it switched. Now I'm switched back because now I'm going to get into politics, and my heart is always been with And it's not just Donald Trump, it's the way his policies we all believe in. So he's just a figure of what we all believe in: the secure borders, public safety, the basic necessities where you don't have anarchy.
No forever wars.
Yeah, no forever wars. Common sense stuff. And so, that's I think that's where we miss a lot of it. They just put Donald Trump with the tweets
Right.
and everything. It's not just Donald Trump.
There's
He's
issues
representing
behind it.
74 million of us who feel the
man.
same way, who
Right.
want the same thing.
Right. And everything you said, I agree with every one of them. And I don't understand why there's people out there who have a problem with exactly what you just said, because I don't think there's any logical reason to say that you're wrong, because you look at the evidence, everything that you said can clearly be proven. And I agreed with you on all of that. And so I imagine when people hear that, they just get ticked off, because I know when I tell them, they get a little ticked off, some of them.
Well,
And especially the Democrats. I'm sure the Democrats didn't appreciate that kind of talk.
actually, I did. I actually, by explaining my point of views on stuff,
Yeah,
they actually were like, well, I never really thought of it that way. I said, at least you're thinking.
that's good.
So at least we could.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually,
Yeah.
the Democrat Party that was there in Douglas County and the people I talked to, I think we could have done business if something came in. I mean, they had different things that came in where they'd spent money and it was like, it kind of became a disaster. And I said, well, that's where the business side comes in.
Yeah.
Because you got to put the right people and stuff in there. And they were open-minded to all that. So I was shocked when I came out of there, because I'm like, well, that went way better than I thought. And then, like I say, then I was shocked when I went to Republican Party and they're like in this big turmoil. And I'm just going, oh, Lord.
You've been voted out. That's it.
Yeah,
You're
well,
voted
that
out.
was later. That was,
Later.
but like I say, everything happens for a reason. I believe that there's always a reason things happen. And the reason was I got a hold of Todd and
Hopkins.
Steve and, started meeting all these people, great people. And then, things have just, have gone forward from there. And, I always felt if you're doing the right thing and you're telling the truth,
Yeah.
you're always going to win.
Right.
I think Rush
Right.
Limbaugh always said that,
Right.
hey, the truth and honesty and common sense is always going to win out.
I completely agree with you. I'm sorry, Dan. What?
I want to talk with you at the end.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
on
So-
air.
Well, we
Oh.
need more of him.
Well, we need.
Well,
more
we're
of
all
it.
the same.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, and 74 million of us, I believe, are all the same.
Yes.
We
You
need
know-
more people in law enforcement like him.
Yes. Absolutely. And,
Well,
and then most of them are that I've met, to be quite
Yes.
honest, in Coos County. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
most of them.
Yeah.
And that's so there are logical people out there who are thinking about this stuff, because there's
Well,
some bad shit.
And that's the thing, is you just need a leader that's going to stand up like Trump. And then everybody, you see it in the NFL now where they're doing the Trump dance and everything. I mean, all this stuff has come out now where they did support him, but they were afraid to, which makes you even more nervous, because it's like, well, that's even more scary, because you the whole time were scared to go against it because of your job or whatever else it is. And
Damn right.
and then, I mean, that was the very first thing that got me, I don't know, so much in trouble with it. But I said, well, when I said, well, what's rising? Well, the government is incompetent. And they're like, and then everybody's like, oh my God, he called the government incompetent. It's like, well, I dealt with them in Hawaii. It was the military contracts or whatever it was.
Yeah.
In the state of Hawaii. And it was like, it was so corrupt. It was like, okay, so it was the concept of waste as much money as possible and be most efficient, because that's kind of what we're doing here.
Yeah, and they're not efficient at all, and I'm tired of paying for all of it. And I'm glad there's Trumpian people out there who are like want to create things like Doge. We're doing that in our county. The one of the commissioners has talked with a citizen to actually do a Doge type committee here in Coos County, and they started the process on that. Janessa, you look like you were interested in saying something there.
Yeah, no, we're trying to get that.
Oh, thank you.
Government efficiency is huge, and when Elon comes out and says almost 30 to 33%, I think, of the contracts our federal government puts out is a single source. That's favoritism.
Monopoly.
That cost us a lot of money because someone hasn't got their 3 bids.
Picking winners
And
winners
it's the
losers.
same thing with our own county where we don't do it. So that it's important, and but we have budget people. We have budget people that are businessmen that are on the 3 guys that we have for Coos County, but they don't understand. They're just looking at making sure the numbers match up. They're not looking for efficiency where we can cut. Well, maybe someone's getting a car too often.
Right.
Maybe we can buy a fleet and get a break-in price, and like Trump did. I mean, Trump held out for his plane from Boeing and stuff. So I'm only going to pay this amount. So basically, we need someone that will come into a group of people that will come in and look at each department and say, okay, from an outsider's perspective, these are our suggestions. Give it to the commissioner that's responsible for the liaisonship and see if they can make some of those changes. We're not trying. First of all, the public union they were all upset when we started to bring this efficiency group together for the county. They were all upset. The sheriff, the treasurer, they don't want any oversight. That's the problem. But the problem, they don't understand. We're taxpayers. We have the right to look into this.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
And we're not there to do things that are against the law. We're there just to say, okay, how many cars do you have? What's the age of these cars?
Right.
How often are you changing them out? What's the cost of them?
Right.
Are you doing maintenance? I mean, just those kind of basic things like any business person would look at. But see, they get complacent and they have a certain budget that they get every year. And now we're all of a sudden cutting our public safety instead of maybe a 15% cut on across all the departments. Maybe.
It could happen. It could happen. And I don't know if we'd see it in our lifetime, but it could happen. Hopefully you get.
But this is what Elon is doing on a federal level. Why can't we do it on a local?
Yeah, I agree. And thank you, Greg. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
for having me.
Diane, go for it.
Well, I'm glad everybody was ranting, and I'm going to be happy because I think we've done some fabulous things this year. I remember being in this very room with Kyle Rittenhouse and having a shootout and orchestrating it and bringing him here and enjoying days of podcasts with Joshua Michaels. And he was wonderful.
Yeah,
and we had an
pretty
opportunity
cool
to get to know Don Powers and spend a little time with him and, be successful most of the year. When you protest against or with politics, people flip you off and stuff. But when you protest for something that is for good, people wave at you and people honk their horns.
Most of the time.
Most of the time,
we really knew. I tell you what, we really knew people were on our side on the windmill thing. It was
a very thankful time, to go and protest. So I want to be glad for that. And, we have friends in 3 counties that came together and county commissioners that united, that all came together against the federal government, and the tribes came together against the federal government. And all of that came in together in 1 year. And even though our own representatives stood up at the beginning and promoted the bill that would bring them to our shores, the people stood up and said no. And that doesn't happen very often. So, Rob, between you and I, to begin with, these are things that we were able to do together with or without the support of the Republican Party. And so that's why I call myself a purple person. And, I do support most conservative values, but I'm more tolerant. And I think that that's a more successful course for the future. We need to become Americans. And I've been thankful for the opportunity to work with Rob Taylor and to be on your show. So happy holidays, and happy holidays to the patriots in the room.
Michaela.
Birthday girl.
Happy birthday.
I didn't know I was coming back on. I was hoping to just be camera person.
It's your birthday, and it was fun spending it with you. And we're going to get back to partying. Steve, would you like to say anything to your lovely wife?
I was just going to do the.
Nope, they can't hear you.
Oh,
You've got to come over to the
No,
microphone.
I got the birthday message. Hold on, I got the
Oh,
video
the birthday
even.
message. Okay.
Yeah, this is a good one. I'm pretty sure I had this.
Hello, Michaela. It's Donald J. Trump, just wanting to thank you for peacefully attending on January 6th, because you're a true America First patriot. I hear you got some real swamp establishment rhinos in Roseburg. Thank you for trying to get your local senator to condemn my political persecution. What can you do? Some David bullshit. That guy stinks worse than offshore wind. He would know, right? Anyway, I'll make sure to talk to Elon and have him get you billions and billions of followers on X. Happy birthday, Michaela. Your husband Steve wanted me to wish you the best day surrounded by the true patriots of Southern Oregon. The future is bright. God bless America.
Follow me on X at Michaela_1776.
The Elon promise is not. We're not paying.
Not billions and billions.
Oh wait.
He's over there somewhere.
I think you've been drinking.
Oh,
I've had a few hats that I've handed out.
It twisted on me.
it
Sorry.
did. There you go. Here, you want to talk in and say anything?
Oh, is this the mic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fancy. Yeah, I mean, the message that I created through AI Donald Trump is also the same message I replicate now. I mean, it's awesome, having Kayla, Diane, Greg, Danessa, Todd all here. Kind of replicating, I don't know, like a righteous version of what happened here, 5-6 months ago?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, is it a year?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm showing my age.
And it really demonstrated just playbook after playbook plays where the party, and people who are, I wouldn't say, and this is what we got accused of, is trying to destroy the party. All we were trying to do was bring in better people to represent us. And that's exactly what our right is when you're according to the party rules. And so it was an unfair game, and we know it was slanted against us. But the thing is that
So before we got recalled,
right,
before the whole Roseburg 6 thing happened,
right,
I remember several occasions with Diane, with you, where it was like, well, the Republican Party is just, it's just a waste of time. Essentially,
it is a waste of time.
That's essentially the message. And I was like, hold up. We're still in here. We still won the election.
Right.
There's still half of us that are fighting, on principle, not on people, on issues, not on people. We don't go, I align with this person and that person, and then the issues fall by the wayside. There were still, as they defined, 6 of us that were in the party on the executive committee,
right,
that were fighting over the issues. And what happened.
Policy. It
Yeah,
was
they all
you-
ganged up together and said, can't do with this righteous, business. And but yeah,
Well, it's always
so
an
I would kind of
interesting
agree
game.
with you guys nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's part
All
of
the swamp
politics,
creatures are left in there, so
and that's okay. Let them eat their own. And like you said, the party doesn't mean anything. You can work parallel to the party. I've learned that working on issues, and that's why I always stuck with issues. We're switching back here to Michaela.
Sorry, I do have to say something.
We'll say something.
Okay, I'm gonna say something
There you go.
because I'm not giving up. Is it showing me on there?
Yep.
Okay, because I'm not gonna give up. Guess what we have coming up? You guys all missed your organizational meetings as a county if you don't know what we're talking about. But guess what's coming up? The state organizational meeting. It's in February and it's important. And the people who are going to be running the Oregon Republican Party, they're running. So you need to talk to your delegates. Whatever county you're in, you need to talk to your delegate and tell them who you want them to vote for. And if you don't know who's running, then you should ask your delegates, why haven't they told you who's running?
Do you know who's running?
Not yet. And the only reason we don't know yet is because the deadline hasn't passed yet.
Okay.
It is the 15th or 16th.
All right.
And then we are going to know who is running for the ORP chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. And it's important. The people who are in those leadership roles for the state are going to dictate what we do for the state.
Right.
We are in a minority. We know that. We get that, whatever. But if we want that to change in 4 years from now, we're going to have to start now. We need people that are really, really strong leaders and probably are not go along to get alongs. We don't have time for that. That's not going to change anything. We need people who are strong leaders, who are not scared, who are going to stand up and do things that maybe are a little bit unconventional, like Donald Trump.
Yeah, definitely unconventional. And,
Yes.
And there are things we have to fight with always on the local issue because politics is always local.
Yes.
And we'll continue with that. Of course you will. And tell us about something else that I wanted to hear about before I got out.
Okay. My last plug.
Okay.
Go to ndvbm.com. ndvbm.com. VBM stands for Vote by Mail. And we're going to try to end vote by mail in Oregon. We filed a petition, statewide petition. It was approved. I don't even know how that happened. I didn't think we were going to jump through that hoop, but we did. It's been approved for circulation. We need to gather our first 1,000 signatures. There really isn't a deadline for that, but we need to do it quickly to show that Oregonians are serious about this. And then we will be approved to gather the rest of the signatures, which is going to be a 2-year endeavor. Well, about a 1.5 year long endeavor. But if you are interested in ending vote by mail, Donald Trump is. We hope to have federal support. We're hoping that this petition is going to help bring the support that we need to Oregon from Donald Trump and all of the other people in this nation that understand that voting by mail is ruining our country. So go to endvbm.com, print the petition, sign the petition. There are also, you have an option to gather 10 signatures. There's a 10 signature petition. You can also print that, gather signatures from other people, follow the rules, be very careful. Everybody follow the rules so we don't get things thrown out, then mail them over to us. We're gathering the first 1,000 signatures. You can be one of the first 1,000 signers. So
that's great.
ndvbm.com. How many times did I say that?
Let's say it again.
ndvbm.com.
Good. You got to plug that stuff.
I'm plugging it.
Wow. I was having a hard time putting that up there. Okay, no, I don't want to do that. Too many buttons. So this is your birthday. I hope you're having a good birthday.
I'm with my favorrit people.
I love this Christmas tree. I've never been in a hotel room with a Christmas tree.
They provided a Christmas tree for us.
Usually,
know Christmas trees.
That looks nothing like our Christmas tree at home.
yeah. No,
If Steve decorated it, it would have Marvel characters all over it. Rainbow lights.
That. I figured that was. I couldn't see you actually bringing in a Christmas tree, but yeah, I've never seen a hotel do it either. So how exciting! So where do you go from here? Do you have any high hopes? It is your birthday. Oh no, the camera fell. Let me get this. Oh my God.
Your camera's drinking.
My camera is really
Commercial where the guy starts
really wasted.
It starts melting.
Yeah.
However.
Okay. Wow. That was
Should
torturous.
I like scoot back a
No,
little
you
bit?
were fine. Go right back where you were. You were fine. You were fine.
Okay, my high hopes. Well, you guys may have noticed I have a neck injury. My high hopes for next year is that my neck is healed and I
Yep.
get back to normal. So that's one of my birthday wishes. But mostly, I think one of my big wishes already came true, which is Donald Trump was elected. I actually still can't even believe it. I think some of us are still reeling from it because we've gotten so used to losing and then we won. And so
That's funny.
I'm just
Yeah.
looking forward to the really good things that are going to happen to this country where we can actually become the United States of America, the greatest nation in the world, that we can be that again. I want to make America great again. That's what I want.
Yeah. That's would be a good thing to do. Bravo, bravo. When does that thing come off your neck?
Well, I'm going to go get stem cell treatment.
Oh,
And
my.
so probably about a month and a half, 2 months from now,
What happened?
I got in a car accident.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Wasn't your fault.
It wasn't my fault. I got rear-ended.
Greg.
It's not good.
This year's the last thing.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. We're not going there. That's right. We're not going to talk about it.
I have no idea what's going on. Plausible deniability.
Oh, jeez.
So where were we? What was the question? What did you ask me, or did I ask you?
didn't ask you anything.
Good.
How are you doing tonight, Rob?
I'm kicking ass.
You are
Oh,
always.
yeah, I'm kicking ass and taking names. That's how I
You know
roll.
what I got tonight?
What did you get?
Some really good coffee.
Oh,
From a
yeah.
guy I know.
You know, my wife makes the best coffee, and she's totally apolitical. You know what I mean? She's like,
And you don't
Big
promote the
business.
coffee on the show.
and
You
don't-
guys
yeah.
know that you could get some Rob Taylor's wife coffee.
Yes, and I, you know, she doesn't really want to do that because she's just not political. She wants to stay
Sure.
completely neutral, and whatever. I respect her wishes, and I
Of
think
course.
it's kind of cool.
The coffee is really good, though.
And she has, you know, she doesn't mind that I talk about it because, like, she has this kick-ass box that she's selling full of Jamaican coffee,
Mhm.
and there's all this different stuff in there, and so it's something that's, what are they calling it, an heirloom box that you can keep. It was handmade by a friend of
Oh,
ours,
yeah.
and so they're gifts that people can buy and put under their Christmas tree. It comes with a canister. It comes with some coasters, you know,
Mhm.
and we've been promoting the hell out of it. And so
That's awesome. And
yeah.
see, the funny thing about this is we didn't practice this.
That's
This is
fine.
a really good promotion, and
This
we
is a good
didn't
promotion.
actually talk about it ahead of time.
I could talk about her business. We've been doing this. She has, see, once again, not we. I'm once in a while the coffee deliverer guy.
Uh-huh.
I
Like
try to-
tonight,
yeah.
he delivered.
I
me
deliver
coffee.
coffee. It's funny, you know. It's like, I feel like I'm dealing drugs. Hey, you get your stuff. I got
got it.
some money. Okay, I'm out of here. No, I only take cash.
Right smile.
Yeah.
That's called
Hey,
slinging-
hey, you, come
slinging
here.
coffee.
Yeah. And so,
Slinging coffee.
yeah, it's a
Slinging coffee.
funny experience. So, but that's what makes it kind of worth doing, because that, and she does really well. Her coffee kicks ass.
It's so good. It's good. So if you guys can figure it out, I'm not gonna say it unless you want to, but
Say what
kind of coffee it is.
say it please.
Your coffee company.
Oh, Raging Coffee Company at ragingcoffeecompany.com.
I wasn't sure. I was like, am I allowed to say it?
Oh no, you can say it. No, she doesn't
like
have
a
a
car
problem.
accident.
Yeah, it's not like a,
It's not like the car accident.
she don't mind at all. No, I got sponsors, and I can't believe there's people who are still sponsoring me on the show.
I know.
You know, you're like, I can't believe they would do that. Why
Three
would you?
tree service.
Yeah, 3H tree service.
3H, sorry,
and
3H
they're
tree
great
service.
People, yeah.
Yes.
Last week.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
They were at Danessa's place last week. She
All
doesn't
right.
have a microphone.
She
but-
doesn't have a microphone. I didn't even think of that. Good catch.
Yeah. No, they're awesome. I watch every time they're on here. I watch their videos. They're up in those trees doing crazy stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
They're incredible, and it's a manly man's business, and it's so cool.
That's right.
Oh, we don't care.
We need manly
we like
men.
Trump, and it's like, oh, okay. And when I had the
do
radio,
we.
we'd play "Where's 3H Tree Service," and we tell people
Mhm.
to go find them and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And it was hilarious. Yeah, and people would become driving out of everywhere looking for them and shit. And you're like, I hope we don't cause an accident or anything. Trying to get $50. It's but they're great guys. And of course,
Yeah.
Tim over at Tom and Gigs, he just doesn't care.
Yeah. He's awesome too. I know I've watched your interviews with him too. You have great sponsors. I like your sponsors.
And yeah, and anyone who wants to go over to those sponsors can go see Tom and Gig over at 135 South Shoneman Street. And he's right behind the car wash in Empire neighborhood. Just want to put that plug in. And so that's why I still got a few sponsors. And
if you want to be a sponsor, what do you do?
And if you want to be a sponsor, just you can email me.
You got to be a
Rob
patriot,
at
though.
Taylor Report.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's I got a website, and I always tell people this all the time. Go to www.rob@robtaylorreport.com.
Yep.
And you can send me an email.
That's where I went when I needed help, and then I got removed from the Republican Party.
Boom.
Yeah. Where I went when I needed help, and I got cheated
know.
on an election.
Rob Taylor, actually, if you guys want to know, though, you want to talk about. I know they're all talking. You want to talk about an advocate for life, though? You want to talk about somebody who will go out on a limb for you? That's Rob Taylor. Rob Taylor has had a year this year.
Yeah, it's been a year.
He's had a year. And honestly, I didn't walk in until it really seriously started getting bad because I didn't know because I'm not on the coast.
Oh yeah, no one believed us for a while, and still a lot of people don't believe us, which is weird.
But when he got canceled and people started the outrage about his show getting canceled, I couldn't sit back and let that happen because this is a freedom of speech issue. If we don't have our media, if we don't have our First Amendment, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
And so, Rob, I respect you 1,000,000%. You are a person that I consider a friend.
Thank you.
And I would have made the same choices over the last year, even though I know what it has taken, the path that it's taken us on.
Right. It was a wild path.
It was a wild path. I would still make those choices again. And I'm so thankful for the people in this room.
Yeah.
And we will come out triumphant because the people want freedom of speech. They want their rights. They want their government to work for them. They want all of these good things. And we're going to have it. We will have it. It's only a matter of time, you guys.
Truth always wins.
The truth always wins.
So
That's
this
right.
is what I want you to do, since you're on the camera right now, is go put the microphone next to each person.
Okay.
And let's see. I can't, that damn camera. There we go. There you are. And Diane, would I'm sure you want to wish Michaela a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Michaela. Love you the most.
Next person.
I feel bad. too.
Happy birthday, Michaela.
I'm like, okay, would you wish me a
Happy birthday, Michaela. You're an awesome, smart, brilliant woman, capable of running the Republican Party on her own. And she's super talented with computers and just a good overall friend. And I'm so glad I met her in the fight. And she's been in the fight. And it is important that we keep these relationships going because this is the gold that comes out of the fight.
And we're getting old, like Michaela now. She's old.
Happy birthday, Michaela.
I gotta follow that, Danessa. Come on. All right, I'm just gonna say this: always aim up. Always aim up.
We're aiming. Okay, I gotta figure out how to sneak by you, not knock that lamp over.
Oh, I gotta speak for my wife.
Oh, you're on the spot.
I would just replicate what Danessa said because it was very accurate. And this was a very expensive weekend, but my wife's worth it. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
You're a hero, Rob. Always will
Oh, not at all. Gosh.
be.
It's a very accurate statement concept. Yes.
No, I watch what they do at 3H Tree Service, and I think, no, heroes. No, those guys are. I wouldn't call them heroes, but they're just badass. The things I've seen people do. Oh, I'm sorry, we're going this way now. We're back over
Don't
here.
know what you're doing.
I don't know. I think I'm out of here. It is her birthday. We're just right on her face. Well, and like I said, we do have, and it didn't turn again. See that?
It doesn't ever turn with it.
No, everyone's here. All right. Well, I'm out of here. We got better things to do. I'm sure there's some drinking to be had or something.
We're gonna go have fun. Yay!
You gamble?
Not according to your show. I don't. I don't drink. I don't gamble. I don't do anything according to your show.
Right.
She doesn't even drink milk.
That was a
Oh.
good answer. All right. Well, I'll talk to you all later. I appreciate you all coming on.
Keep
And-
up the fight. Yes.
all right. Let me.
Bye, Rob.